Dapples. Why do some horses have them and not others? Why do dapples come and go? And are they really a sign of health? We actually have lots of comments on this on the YouTube community.
Does not surprise me.
Yeah, so varying from their sign of health to their sign of a horse, turning completely white or gray and aging. So lots of different thoughts on this one for sure.
So she had a couple questions in there, and I want to make sure at the end that I've answered them all, but I'm just going to go through what I know about dapples, and should take me long. So just to make sure we're on the same page, dapples are those usually round shaped, like, I don't know, inch and a half, whatever, parts on the horse's shoulder, barrel, usually, and they're a different color. They could be a deeper color. They're beautiful. They're very pretty. They're shiny. So, but not all horses have them. And even the ones that do have them, they don't have them all the time. They tend to be seasonal, but they're irregular, they're unpredictable, and they're complicated. And what that all means is that we don't really know much about dapples. So I can tell you what the experts do know, and then you'll see it'll leave a lot to be yeah. You still wondering about mystery. It's a mystery. Mystery.
Oh, there you go.
So we know they're common in gray horses. We see dapples a lot in gray horses. Yeah.
In gray horses, yes.
Yeah. You'll see them in blacks and bays. The color that they're not, and browns, the color that they're not very common in is chestnut. Okay. We know that dapples are genetic in nature.
Oh, okay.
So they're controlled by a gene that controls the coat color. So horses, you either have it or you don't. And if a horse does not have dapples, it doesn't mean that they're unhealthy. If you've never seen dapples in a particular horse, they just don't have the gene, period. It doesn't matter what you do, they're never going to have it.
There's not a shampoo you can buy. There's not a supplement you can feed. It's just never going to happen for you.
There's not a supplement for that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if your horse does have the gene, like I have a bay. Now, this is the first year for my young horse, so I don't know about him, but my bay, he dapples every spring. So when he sheds out his winter coat, he has beautiful dapples for maybe a month, 3 weeks. He's got them right now. I need to go take a picture for proof. And then I don't see him. I maybe see him again in the fall when he grows in his winter coat. Again, for a very short period of time. So he does not have them year round or even like summer hair coat. They're only there for a little bit, like spring flowers.
I was just gonna say, it's like spring flowers or the changing the leaves in the fall. They're for a period of time.
Yep. So if your horse has the gene, and you occasionally do see them, there are some things that you can do to, I don't want to say ensure your horse has dapples, give him his best chances for dappling. That's probably fair. So probably starting with a complete and balanced diet. If your horse isn't on a good nutritional plane, you're not going to see dapples. So in that respect, the people who say it's a sign of good health, there's some truth to that. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, so if your horse isn't genetically set up to have dapples, it's not necessarily a sign of good or bad health. It's just genetically not part of that horse's makeup. But if your horse has the gene to have dapples, it could potentially be a sign of good health or bad health. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I would say it like this. That might be true, but I would say it like this. If a horse is capable of having dapples and you're not feeding that horse correctly, the chances of the dapples appearing or being expressed because of the gene are not very good. You gotta feed them good.
That makes sense.
Okay, I think it's nuanced.
Yeah.
You also have to groom. I mean, elbow grease. If you're not trimming out the winter hair and helping him shed, if you're not bringing those oils to the surface, flattening the hairs down, you're not going to see dapples even if they are expressed. So you got to groom your horse with clean brushes and all that. And then you have to provide good wellness care with your veterinarian. So certainly things like dental exams and care, floating, And then parasite control. So your horse needs to have his teeth done so he can use the food that you're feeding. And then he has to also be dewormed appropriately. I was going to say regularly, but we don't deworm regularly anymore. We deworm targeted and appropriate.
There you go. Again, nuanced.
Yeah. Nuance, right? That's our word for this one.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Finally, if your horse has a medical condition, then that needs to be treated. So something like gastric ulcers, we know affects the weight, the body condition, the hair coat, and makes a dull, dry hair coat. You're probably not going to see Dapples with that going on. So make sure your horse's health, any diseases or conditions are diagnosed and treated and managed carefully.
So it does seem like the Dapples, there's still a lot to be discovered there potentially.
Yeah, if we knew how to make Dapples appear 100% of the time on 100% of the horses, I mean, we'd be doing it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, so hopefully that will help you out, and hopefully it doesn't cause you too much stress with grooming your horse this spring, trying to get those Dapples to appear if they're not meant to appear anyways.
Yeah.